So what you want to talk about?
Dang! Can you say it like a little and more enthusiastic? So, what you want to talk about?
I don't know, Pookie. What you want to talk about?
College.
College?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that?
Do you?
Vaguely.
I remember it. It was a very interesting time.
Only thing I remember is they said I owe a lot of money.
You don't remember our dance nights?
Sometimes. A few of them.
We had one today at lunch.
Oh.
No? You don't remember?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. You don't remember it at lunch?
Oh, yeah, a little bit. I guess.
It was like a
guess that
10-second
counts.
dance, yeah, but... But yeah, we're talking about college.
What about it?
What about it?
You tell me.
You tell me.
So...
Because what I'm going to talk about is going to be something totally different from what you're going to talk about.
Think so?
Mm-hmm.
I guess, is college worth it?
For me, college was a chance to meet you, the love of my life.
Mm-hmm.
The second time around, because I did go to ECU and leave ECU a year and a half in because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So in spending all that money at ECU, I left ECU on good standing and went back home to figure out that I wanted to go back to school regardless for communications. But I took classes at the community college for like a fraction of the price that like ECU costed.
Yeah.
So for me, it was really worth it because when I came back, I met you, and now we're together, and that's priceless. So I can't put a number on that. The only great thing about college for me was meeting you. Mm-hmm. And having the network that when I go somewhere, I say I went to ECU.
Right, you can find pirates anywhere.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, used to be only Jamaica, but...
What do you mean? What do you mean only Jamaica?
That's where all the pirates would go.
Oh. I was gonna say, how about Beaufort? Like the Beaufort pirate, the Beaufort pirate invasion.
I feel you.
Yeah. So.
All right. So I saw a Facebook post the other day, and it said, "Should I go back to college? Yes or no?"
Ooh. Do you remember everything you said?
Yeah.
Oh, because that was like a long paragraph. Okay, I wouldn't have been able to remember. Go ahead.
But when you're thinking about going to college, there's several factors to consider, right? Mm-hmm. So when I went into college, there were thousands of jobs in the field that I was going to go in, mm-hmm. which is chemistry, right? Due to the recession, there were only 4 jobs in chemistry in the whole state when I graduated.
I remember
so the depletion in jobs was unexpected for me, right? So going into it, you know, the average salary for a chemist was over $50,000 a year. So me getting $40,000 a year, $40,000 in student loans wasn't a big issue. But coming out, average salary for a chemist was less than $40,000, like $38,000. So it wasn't wise to take out $40,000 in student loans when you were only going to make $38,000.
That's true.
And I honestly advise anyone going to college to never take a student loan, period. Because student loan debt is literally the worst debt that you can have. You can't go bankrupt on it. They can garnish your wages to get it.
I mean, it's worse than owing child support.
It's basically a child support payment every month or a house payment. You know, but if you do take the loans, you should try to pay them back the best you can. You know,
you probably should. If I had to go back and redo it, I would not take out a student loan at all. Like at all. Well, all of my extra money would have been to pay for college, honestly, and I would have went because I didn't have a specialty.
Yeah.
Like mine was just a generic, you know, communications degree in Spanish. Like I probably should have just went to the community college for 2 whole years, got my associate's degree for free, and then transferred to ECU or a 4-year school if I felt like I wanted to have more education. But I think after that 2 years, during that time, I probably wouldn't have gone to a 4-year school right after that, knowing how the economy was. Right. If I did know, because like I was telling somebody this, I think college like created this whole bubble for me. Like I was in my own bubble, my own world. I had no idea what was going on until I graduated. Like I had no idea that there was no jobs.
No idea that we were even in a recession.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
There are people struggling. I had no idea because I'm like, well, dang, we've been struggling our whole lives. So like, if I heard my mom or somebody complain about something, it was like, oh, that's normal. Like, like we always struggled. Like it wasn't like it was.
The whole reason you were going to college was to flip the script, right? Was to not be struggling anymore.
Right.
And when I came out in 2010, the struggle was even worse than it would have been if we didn't go to college.
Yeah. And that's when I think I started realizing, because I graduated in 2012.
Right.
I started realizing then that when you graduated, like, dang, it's really rough out there. So I did the opposite of probably what I should have. I extended a whole another year of college to add Spanish as a degree. But, you know, it is what it is. I got to go to Spain. I got to travel. You know, so it was worth it, but I probably should have been done in 2011. But then at the same time, I would have been in the same situation, just owed less money, basically.
So like me coming out of college, I wasn't willing to move to like Texas or Florida or New York or somewhere like that to get a job. So, like I said, there were a lot of jobs when I was going into college, but...
I mean, you hadn't even got on a plane at that point.
Yeah, I hadn't even left the state, really. The furthest I've been away was probably Atlanta. So
you weren't going to go up and uproot your whole life and move to a whole different state for a job.
Yeah.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
But before you decide to go back to school, that's the first thing that you're kind of looking at is like, is the area that I want to live in actually need this profession?
That is a really good point.
Right. So in my particular area, there was only 2 places that I could have worked that was local to where I wanted to be, which was Smithfield, where I was from. Mm-hmm. And at the time of me graduating, they were not hiring.
Right.
So
do you think,
so even though it looked like there was going to be a crap ton of jobs,
there wasn't any in your area?
There wasn't any in my area
that you actually wanted to be in. But I have a question. Do you think that like when you went home, like to go visit when you were in school, do you think that networking with those people in those positions, do you think that could have helped you get a job like in that area? Like I'm just saying that as just asking, because if I were to recommend something now for people that are in college, it would be to network with the people in the area you want to be in. Like pop up at their office, emailing them, call them, let them know who you are, send letters, whatever. Like internships.
Hey, I'm going to college.
I would love to work for your company when I'm done. Like, I expect to be done at this date. Like, that's something I really wish that I would have done.
100%.
Like,
absolutely.
For sure. Even if I couldn't afford to do an internship that was unpaid, I could have at least let people know who I am. And
at that time, the only people that got jobs were the ones that were willing to do unpaid internships.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't do that.
Coming from the background that we come from, we had to get paid.
We had to get paid.
It wasn't feasible for us not to be paid to work.